The new SCR update, version 2.1, came out recently, and let's just say the community absolutely hated it, and this will be the worst SCR update in history, which is such a shame. But to speed this video up, here are 5 reasons I dislike it. We'll start with reason number 1, and the first reason is that the novelty of the new 10-car trains just wears off immensely quickly. I mean, the first time I saw a 10-car train, I thought it was cool, but it got boring extremely quickly. And I believe this is due to a few more reasons. The first reason is that some of the trains, they're basically just remodels, and all they did is just add more carriages to the trains. Yes, I know you had the Pendolino, but I think, to be fair, the Pendolino should have been a train that you bought for points because it's such an iconic train. Now, whilst I'm not a big train nerd myself, I do believe that this was such a huge oversight by the SCR managers and developers. Also, as a Christmas Eve update, what they should have done is add new trains, fix bugs and errors in the game, which is a different point that I'll get onto, and they should have just added way more content that will be quite memorable. In a few weeks, the game will go back to normal. It will be around the 900 players count, and yeah, we'll all forget about it. The reason number 2 is that I thought that fixing bugs and issues should have been the main priority. For example, we still have ghost trains, and maybe the SCR devs, they should have implemented more new measures into fixing some of the errors that are in the game. Also, I do think though that when it comes to like fixing stuff, that it should always be at the forefront of the game, and maybe they could have added more features, and they could have made the game feel much more wintry. I mean, it's kind of weird though, but it seems like the SCR devs have been very, very lazy. I mean, if you look at other games on Roblox, they all feel Christmassy, but SCR, it just feels really, really boring. It feels unchanged. So point number 3, now as it came out on Christmas, or the update came out around Christmas Eve, it should have been more sentimental, it should have felt more Christmassy, but instead the devs, they capitalized on Christmas Eve, and they probably knew that loads of little kiddies will be asking their mummy and daddy for that £10 to spend on the train, which, okay, it is a business, but they could have approached it in a different way. Instead, they could have given us a free train, they could have given us more points as a Christmas present. I think the SCR devs take it for granted, but the stronger players and the more frequent players will always remember this update as being such a failure. And it still feels horrible. I think as players, we don't feel like our voices are heard. The SCR devs just take us for granted. Now, whilst I do agree that, hey, some of the other supervisors and the senior supervisors, yes, they got the train sets for free, and that is true, they do volunteer to blimmin' run the trainings, and also the sets, they will be removed apparently. They only have them for a limited time, but other than that though, the communication was just really poor when it came to the update, and that's one thing. The communication was terrible. Number 4, so I understand why the Game Pass costs a lot. So that's due to get rid of trolls, to make sure the bandwidth is low, so people on like phones and weaker laptops, computers can play Stepford County Railway. But it should have been cheaper, and it should have been more accessible. And this is quite a few of the developers, they moan about apparently us players not understanding business, but accessibility, especially in a kid's game, is very important. If like most of the player base just cannot afford to buy the trains for £10, then the devs should never rely on it. The devs should have made it way more cheaper, and also that price would impact the train models, or it would be linked to the train models. Again, essentially, Stepford County Railway is a bit of a Lego game. It's an arcade game. It's not meant to be too realistic, but for £10, I would expect more modelling. I'd expect more buttons. I'd expect far more realism. And it should be similar to games like British Railway, where, they still incorporate a lot of realism. Now, I'm not telling you to go play British Railway, because the games are quite different though, but, if you're not happy, just stop spending money on the game passes. That's what I would tell you, as they don't really impact the game, and it's still a waste of money. Now, the update also caused bad game publicity, as it feels like the devs, as I said, capitalized on Christmas in the hopes that, the kids would buy it. Now, it's a business, but I did think it was quite predatory in the way the devs went about it, and they should have, the minute the update went live, the devs should have published like a little description or statement in the Discord server, also like maybe debunking some of the questions. Now, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas, or whatever you guys are doing. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe, drop your comment down below. There will also be a huge giveaway once we reach 500 subs. So come on, guys, please subscribe. Please, please, please. Have a good one, guys. Have a good one.